People say, why you defending Puffy? I'm not defending Puffy. If Puffy sexually trafficked people, Puffy should go to jail. All I'm saying is I ain't seen no evidence of it. I ain't seen no evidence of it. And this whole trial so far has been nothing but a narrative about freak-offs. Shannon Sharpe and Terrell Owens, when I was young, going through school, black women called me ugly, right? But Shannon Sharpe, you let a 19-year-old snow bunny put a dog leash around your damn neck and walk you around calling you monkeys and apes and the N-word. The reason why they're having such a hard time proving his case is he got locked up on frivolous reasons in the first place. Puffy is going through this because he sued Diageo. Puffy sued Diageo Liquor. He started his own political party, and they needed to make sure that he couldn't influence the 2024 election, and so he had to be in jail. Because Rodney Hinton just put a new idea into the universe on how to deal with police brutality. And as much as people want to denigrate it, all behavior is a function of its consequences. Everything. How do you train your dog? Consequences. Yes. How do you train your employees? Consequences. Rodney Hinton just showed you. You want the police to stop killing your children? Until they feel pain, you will never stop feeling pain.
So they let him get up there and basically say, I was told that Diddy blew the car.
Yeah.
No one was charged. No one knew.
No evidence.
And it's on a federal trial.
No police investigation.
And on a federal trial.
I don't think they have nothing, bro. I believe she was as much a freak as Puff was.
If not more.
If not more. Anybody who wants to claim that she was purely a victim is in denial. Loon, there's no way. I don't care how much grooming. You're not a child. You're a grown woman, and you mixed race on top of that, so you got a white parent. You feel? There's no way you're doing all of this if you don't want to.
And if you ain't talking no dough, then I ain't interested. Look, they say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther than that. She keep blowing up my phone, so I called her mama, come get your daughter back. They just want a little bit of fame, get them boys whack. What, baby? Little one eye, bust your brain, but get a hard hat. They say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther. They can try to, but can't kill me. I'm immortal. I just bought a nigga life, as and did a side, come with that order. You lazy, the reason you broke, you don't know how to hustle. Won't try me, they know I'm stressed, son. Red rum, red dot. Hit the block when 12 come. Know I'm thuggin' to the fullest, asking for a bullet, cause he never felt one. Stick him to the wall, this a nail gun. Riding with my dogs, tryna nail something. Yeah. I said on you when he got your partner.
Every time you go to work, Loon, think about that. Every time I go to work, I gotta act like I don't know what my people been through. Because if I show the slightest political integrity or cultural loyalty, I can lose my job.
Here we go, y'all. He cooking.
See, this is why LeBron James stood with Israel against Palestine, but did nothing when that brother was shot dozens of times in Akron, Ohio. Jalen Walker got hit with almost 100 bullets by the white police, and all LeBron James said is, I gotta pray. I gotta pray. But when Israel invaded Palestine and started unaliving all those people over there, you stood with Israel. Because as a black entertainer, if you want to be successful in white space, you have to commit historical suicide.
Ooh. That boy is cooking today, you got. So back to...
Now, see, here's the thing, though, real quick.
Go ahead.
Now that the white man knows Ryan Clark is not only conscious, they're not upset about you being conscious. Stephen A. Smith is conscious, but Ryan Clark is loyal as well.
Yeah, the loyalty what get it.
It's the loyalty. Ryan Clark's comments made it clear, I'm a black man first.
Yeah, because the loyalty informs your decision making.
Yes. So now the white man is like, damn, he's conscious like Stephen A., but he's more loyal to black people.
So he'll move on it.
He'll move on it. So now Ryan Clark, he's not going to lose his job. But once again, there will be certain opportunities he may not get now because the power structure knows you stand with the Negroes in the field, not the ones in the house.
Yeah. And so also getting back to the community that when I went in there and they was talking about, the dirty mouth or just like you say, some of the historical overreaches that they use as it pertains to black women. It just doesn't feel like trauma driven to me because the particular things that they were pointing out, meaning Because you know me, I like to have a conversation.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
what are you saying? What is that? Like, I'm highly upset and you about to get kicked out of here. But before I kick you out, what is that? Like, why are you talking about black women in this way? In any instances, like you say, even if honest, that means even if it's the truth. Why is this even coming out of your mouth when your black mother took care of you?
Because you are proving that you are politically harmless to white folks. See, the white woman for the black man is the political surrender flag, Loon. When I walk into a space with a white woman, I'm letting every white person know I am not loyal to my community. I'm not loyal to my mother. I'm not loyal to my father. I'm not loyal to my neighbors, the children I went to college with. I am loyal to you. The white woman is the black man's nonverbal mouthpiece. By having her next to you, you are making a political statement to the world that I am loyal to the white power structure.
Yeah, and so I asked, I'm like, yo, what is, man, I don't like, they talk too much, they argue too much. Listen, black women love me, I love black women. I don't hear no bunch of arguing.
But here's the question I would have to any black man who maligns and denigrates black women to justify dating white. First of all, you were going to date white even if you were treated well. Because your abhorrence for black women is not just about how she treated you. Your abhorrence to black women is about the fact you always wanted a white one. You're just using her as the excuse for why you are there.
Right.
We've all been mistreated before by women.
Period.
But I never abandoned them.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
You wanted white women anyway.
Yes.
You're just using black women as the excuse. And this is how I explain it. Who has mistreated the black man more? The black woman or the white man? There is no black man in America who can say, I've been mistreated more by black women than white men. You a damn lie.
Right.
Who locked you up?
Right.
Who miseducated?
Right.
Who fired you? Who won't give you a job? You understand?
Yes.
Most of the black man's problems in America were caused by the white man, not the black woman. Why you don't have the same smoke for him?
Yeah, and that's, I don't.
Why you don't have the same smoke for America that you have for the black woman? If it's purely about how you've been treated, you should be way more angry at white men than black women.
That's a whole fact.
It's because you love white people. And having sex with that white woman is the way you try to psychologically prove to yourself that you're equal to her white man.
Right, and the scapegoat is,
Look! Shannon Sharpe and Terrell Owens said when I went to school, black girls called me ugly.
well,
Shannon Sharpe and Terrell Owens, when I was young, going through school, black women called me ugly. Right? But Shannon Sharpe, you let a 19-year-old snow bunny put a dog leash around your damn neck and walk you around calling you monkeys and apes and the N-word. So you mean to tell me you don't date black women because they called you ugly when you was a child? But you'll let a white woman dog walk your ass butt naked around her bedroom, calling you every monkey and ape and N-word there can be. But it's okay when the white woman disrespects me. It's okay for the white woman to put a dog collar around my neck and call me the N-word. It's okay for the white woman to put a dog collar around my neck and force me to engage in racist sexual play. But if a black girl calls me ugly, I'll never date one again.
Yeah, don't make
But
sense.
a white woman could dog walk me butt naked and call me an ape and a gorilla and an N-word. And it's perfectly fine. You a goddamn hypocrite. Yeah. You hate yourself and you hate black women. Stop making excuses.
right, and sometimes it feels like that they don't hate black. They just feel like they hate what a black woman had to be. A lot of times, black women are kicked into survival mode. So sometimes that
We are responsible for how they are. They say I like the white woman because she's passive, she's docile, she's feminine, she's supportive. She allows me to lead. You know why? Because she don't need you for anything, idiot. The white woman needs nothing from the black man. Let me say it again. The white woman needs nothing from the black man. Let me say it one more time. The white woman needs nothing from the black man. And when she's tired of you, she'll just accuse you of rape or get a divorce and take half your damn bag.
Right.
Shannon Sharpe about to pay this white girl $25,000 per cheek.
And she looked like 2013 Steve Nash.
Look like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah,
and you're going to pay her $25,000 for an ass cheek she don't even have.
Man. She looked like she needed to be passing the Sodom mile.
And then they got the nerve to be calling black women gold diggers. Well, if black women are the gold diggers, Loon, show me an OnlyFans model. Show me a black OnlyFans model who about to get $25,000 a cheek.
Right.
And them sisters got fat asses.
They worth the 25.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You talk about center buns.
Listen.
They got the center buns.
Man.
And they not getting 25 grand a cheek.
I'm looking at
this white girl ain't got no backside. And you about to give her 25 grand a cheek. Because it wasn't about the body. It wasn't about the looks.
It was the craving.
It was about the color of the flesh. This is about whiteness. I want proximity to whiteness.
So do you think, Shannon,
the closer I am to white people, the better I feel about myself.
So you think Shannon Sharpe, because I sometimes think that it's the activity. I sometimes
you don't find it odd that the brothers who go the most for the white girls tend to be the darker brothers?
Yeah, I definitely find it odd.
And I'm saying this as a dark-skinned brother.
Yeah, I find it odd.
Look at them. Don't get me wrong. You get light-skinned brothers and mixed race brothers, they got a white mother.
Right.
We understand.
Yeah.
Not acceptable, but we understand. You get light-skinned brothers who only date white.
Right.
But in my experience, my dark-skinned brothers, they go crazy over Snow Bunny vagina.
Yeah.
They go crazy over Snow Bunny vagina.
Activate something.
Look at RG3. You just got a divorce and went and wifed up another bunny. Self-hatred, brother. There's a book, France Fanon. I don't know if you heard of him. He was from Martinique. Okay. He's one of our greatest black revolutionaries. They murdered him not too long after they murdered Dr. King. They had to get him out the way because he was serious. Okay. He was a psychiatrist. He wrote a book called Black Skin, White Mass. Every Snow Bunny hopper needs to read Black Skin, White Mass. And guess what? He had a Snow Bunny. But he told the truth. He told the truth. He talked about how black men who date white women have an aspect of self-hate. And by dating her, you're trying to baptize yourself into equality with the Caucasian men.
Wow.
And that's why I don't trust black men who date white women.
At all.
Never.
Wow.
You go home to my enemy and you don't think I know you telling her what we just talked about? Because you got to remember, the black man knows he's always at the mercy of her. He always look at Gabriella Asu Ninjas. Look at Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe.
She's a 21-year-old OnlyFans. It don't matter. I got the whole U.S. government on my side. Look at this white girl. She talking about something he sexually abused me. And I don't trivialize sex assault, right? Because black women are assaulted more than anybody else. Right. But if he sexually assaulted you once, you let him back in again? Yeah, that didn't because he brought Christmas gifts and birthday gifts?
Yeah, didn't make sense.
Loon!
Yeah, don't make sense.
Oh, Snow Bunny was sexually assaulted by a black Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And he showed up a few weeks later with Christmas gifts and birthday gifts.
And you went for it.
And you let him back in to do it again. But here's the biggest piece. You never called the cops. Now, with Shannon Sharpe, right? There was another woman came out accusing him of abuse that happened, 10 years ago?
I seen that too, yeah.
Right? I don't think he's guilty of either one. You know why? Because there's not a white woman in America, Loon, who you sexually assault who ain't getting your ass locked up. Think about that, brother.
Yeah. 10 years.
Do you realize the biggest social crime in American history, historically, until 1967 outlawed the ban on interracial marriage? The biggest social crime in America was a black man with a white woman. They hung us from trees off the accusation. Wow. They hung us from trees, even if it was consensual on the white woman's part. And you mean to tell me you're a white woman who got SA'd by a black male celebrity and you never called the police? Shannon Sharpe, you never called the police? Bill Cosby? Give me a damn
What
break.
do you say to people who say believe victims, believe the people who say that they've been assaulted? Because there's a large percentage of
I believe victims, but I'm not believing no privileged white girl who don't get a black man arrested because black men are presumed guilty until proven innocent. Now, if these women were black, Loon, now we got a gray area.
Right.
I know why black women don't tell.
Right.
Because they don't get white women privilege. Black women are assumed to be sexually promiscuous. Black women are assumed to be Jezebels.
He's cooking now.
Black women are assumed to be manipulators of men. This is why black women don't call the police. This is why black women don't do rape kits. This is why black women don't sue celebrities. They're not going to get no damn money. If a black woman sues Shannon Sharpe, she not getting no damn money.
He'll fight her to the end.
He'll fight it to the end. But I will voluntarily, because he volunteered.
10 million.
Volunteered. And she only wanted 25 grand a cheek. It went from 25 grand a cheek to 25 million a cheek. And y'all calling my sisters gold diggers? Y'all calling my sisters gold diggers? RG3, what's your child support? I know his ex-wife tried to get $36,000 a month. I don't know if she got it. RG3, what's your child support?
Goodness.
And you got these. Tiger Woods' ex-wife got $100 million. What black woman you know got $100 million?
Right.
When Robert De Niro divorced his black wife, did you see what the judge told Robert De Niro ex-black wife?
What?
We're going to give you $1 million a year as long as you stay single. Did you hear that? You're supposed to get half the bag. You're supposed to get half the loan. They didn't give her nothing. They said you're going to get $1 million a year until you get married. And if you ever remarry, you don't get another dime.
Oh, man.
We are not winning in this snow bunny hunt.
Right.
We are losing and we can't see it because we hate ourselves so much and love white people so much, we don't even recognize we being played. In fact, Loon, I would say we need to open up a business, brother. We need to start a snow bunny leasing agency.
Right.
Start leasing them out.
Because
all you doing is leasing them. Shannon Sharpe was leasing her.
Sure was.
He was leasing her.
Sure was.
But they didn't give him the bill till it was over.
Mm.
Bill Cosby was leasing them white girls. RG3 was leasing that first wife. This ain't no relationship. This is business for money. Pleasure for money. And when I'm done being leased, just like with a lease, I'm going to turn your ass in and you're going to have to pay the extra fees.
Ooh, all the extra mileage.
This ain't nothing but a damn snow bunny leasing crime. They leasing these. Somebody need to start a snow bunny leasing agency.
Right, yeah.
You want a white girl? How long you want her for?
Yeah, me and Umar, we
and I'm
got
going to tell you something else. And I, this is funny, but I believe it's going to happen sooner or later. I believe it.
Hey,
if you black.
Brother, go in and get him some paper towel if you don't mind.
If you black, I'm good.
Oh,
good looking,
good,
King.
good.
If you black and you in the insurance company, this is for all my black insurance brokers right now. Somebody need to come up with an insurance policy, Loon, for interracial dating. There needs to be an insurance policy for black men who date bunnies, not just snow bunnies, the rice bunnies, the sand bunnies, the salsa bunnies, all of them. Because as you can see, when you are rich and you are black and you are dating outside your race, there is an increased likelihood that you are going to be financially compromised by the end of this relationship. There should be snow bunny insurance. If I was an insurance broker, I would create a snow bunny insurance policy for these black men. I would charge their asses up.
Yeah. What do you think Shannon Sharpe fate is going to be?
As I said earlier, financially, he's going to be fine because he's in a podcast world. What is ESPN going to do? On the one hand, he's very popular.
Yes.
I think they keep him. But I think what they had in store for him, he ain't going to get that.
Right.
I think he stays with ESPN because he brings the views. You feel me? But I think that they were looking at him for other things that he's no longer going to get.
About to prop
Take
him up.
Jonathan Majors, right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is still acting. But there's certain roles that they were going to put that brother in, he will never be considered forever again. Because in the white world, to just be accused of sex assault with a snow bunny is to be convicted.
Yeah, it's definitely over for that. They don't play the same type of, like you say, you have no benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
And you know another reason why white folks don't have any mercy for snow bunny hoppers? Because they know what they didn't put us through. Even though I don't like black people as a white person,
right.
Even though they don't like you, Loon.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got to respect the fact that you standing on your square. White people can't stand me.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, one of them will pull me to the side. And they'll say, I don't agree with you on many things, but I got to respect the fact you one of the only ones I see that go hard for your people.
Right.
And you ain't no ex-con doing this.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're a brother with all the credentials I got.
Yes.
And you doing this for you.
That's
You see?
what-
So they got to respect you because you like, I'm not folding.
Yes.
So when you see a multi-millionaire black man who publicly tells the world, I don't date black women, and then they get snow bunnied, how the hell you going to feel any sympathy for them?
Craziness.
And that's why when I see the sisters saying, well, I don't care, let them destroy him. I understand where the sisters is coming from, but I don't go that far. See, the reason I got to stand with Shannon Sharpe, even though he's a bunny hopper, is because I have to look at the greater issue here. In the greater issue here, we can't make it easy for white women to fabricate charges against black men, because the day it'll be Shannon Sharpe, tomorrow it'll be you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I got to take it seriously because I know how this goes. People say, why you defending Puffy? I'm not defending Puffy. If Puffy sexually trafficked people, Puffy should go to jail. All I'm saying is I ain't seen no evidence of it. I ain't seen no evidence of it. And this whole trial so far has been nothing but a narrative about freak-offs.
Yeah.
I ain't seen no RICO evidence. I ain't seen no interstate prostitution evidence. And I ain't seen no interstate sex trafficking evidence. That's what the Fed indictment is on. The Fed indictment is not about kicking Cassie in the hallway, although that was wrong and he should have never done it.
Yes.
This case has nothing to do with Cassie, but she's the star witness.
Yes.
How in the hell is the star witness somebody who has nothing to do with the case? Y'all detailing freak-offs, y'all detailing who was here, which has me thinking, Loon, I don't know if this is so much about Puff as it is about exposing his inner circle.
Meaning?
All y'all doing is exposing who was involved.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't seen no evidence of no crime.
So let me
freak off is not illegal. It's okay to be a freak in America. Yeah. Most of them celebrities are. Look what Hugh Hefner did. This is what they do in them secret societies. Yeah. Show me evidence of a crime. Every day in court has been a narrative on a freak off session. Yeah, that's not against the law. Show me evidence of federal crime.
There's something to be said about these black men's sexual appetite, though, and it's leading to disaster, right?
Oh,
when we talk about
demonic
Shannon
possession.
Sharpe, yeah, it's like
demonic possession.
Something happening, like even with Shannon. That's why I'm wondering how much of it is him craving this experience that
I'm disappointed in Shannon.
Yeah,
First of all, I'm disappointed in any black man who will let a white woman allegedly call you out your name for the purposes of sexual pleasure. Do you know what she must think about you as a human being?
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute, Loon.
Yeah.
You're letting me do this to you?
Yeah.
After what your people
in the name of sex.
Any black man who engages in racial sex play with a woman of any other race is letting that woman know I have no self-respect at all. It's one thing to date him. It's one thing to marry him. It's something else to give him a child. But no, I'm going to let you treat me like a slave in your bedroom and call me out of my name for the purposes of sexual demonic possession.
Is it akin to also in sexual relationships, you'll have women who might not necessarily let you call them a bitch, but excuse my language, but when you are in the bedroom, you can get the bitch off. That's my bitch, or little things like that. What do you say about those?
But if you're
parallels?
saying that's you with your queen,
right?
That's something else.
Yeah.
We're talking about two different race groups where one is a member of a group that has historically, systemically, and extensively exploited and dehumanized the other. Do you understand?
Yes.
So this ain't just imagination.
You can't ignore the historical
You are
context.
invoking the historical pain of your ancestors.
That's true.
You are invoking the historical pain of your ancestors, Loon, for the benefit of a white woman's sexual pleasure.
Right. Yeah.
Brother.
That's a little, that's a bit much.
That is deep sin.
Yes, a bit
and
much.
I believe that a lot of these black male celebrities and a lot of black men in general are under demonic possession, brother. Because one of the best ways that the forces of evil invade your space and in your life is through sex. Because when you're having sex, the shield that all guard is down. The shield that generally protects your soul, it's down. That veil is torn off. So whatever you are doing in the bedroom is going to have a
Profound.
reverberative effect
Yes.
on the way you think, feel, and behave.
Yes.
And so when I listen to what they say Puffy was doing and urinating and Cassie,
let's
and
get into Diddy too.
why are you doing all this?
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I believe in Sean Combs. And like I said, I'm standing with him until proven guilty. But I believe in the case of Sean Combs, when I listen to the sex acts that took place at these freak-offs, for him, for Cassie, I'm going to go with Shannon Sharpe with the sex play, right? Slave plantation play. These men experienced deep, profound emotional wounds as children. Puffy's sex addiction, Cassie's sex addiction, Shannon Sharpe's slave plantation role play addiction. These are addictions that developed because they use sex as their outlet to deal with their unaddressed psychological wounds. Do you feel me?
Yes.
If I was able to get Puffy on that couch alone for 2 hours, me and Puff, I promise you I could find out what the real problem is that you're trying to drown out with your sex off, with your freak offs.
Yes.
The freak offs are an escape from reality.
Yes.
Shannon Sharpe's sexual role play with Gabrielle Asu Ninjas, that's an escape from your psychological pain. Anytime you see people engaging in extreme, repeated sexual behavior, this is a drug. This is a sedative.
Yeah.
This is my
It's the
escape.
heroin. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Puffy,
And that's why
what
I
are
say
you running from? Cassie, what are you running from? Shannon Sharpe, what are you running from? I personally believe with my brother Shannon Sharpe, no disrespect to him because I think he's a good guy. I think Shannon is fundamentally a good guy. I don't get bad energy from him. He hate himself though. Shannon needs some deep-seated racial healing therapy, bro. Because you already said the black girls called you ugly.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and let the white girl treat you like a ninja.
Goodness gracious.
Low self-esteem. Money can't fix that.
Right. Yeah, nah, for sure. When we're dealing with Diddy in particular, for people who are unaware, you have to be living under a rock. Diddy is on trial for a RICO and several other charges in the Southern
Interstate
District.
sex trafficking, interstate prostitution.
Interstate sex trafficking.
The Mann Act in particular.
Yeah, I know about that Mann Act, and I
Because
know
they
used
created
it against
that.
the boxer.
Jack Johnson.
Yes.
They created it for Jack Johnson
Yes.
because he openly paraded around white women.
Yes.
Right? This is in the 1920s.
Yes.
This is Garvey time. You ain't even have no civil rights.
He was
And this
on-
black guy, and by the way, I think they killed him. Remember, he died in a car accident. Tragic car accident.
okay.
I think they cut his brake line.
Back then, they
I
did
think they
shit
killed
like
him.
that.
I think Jack
yeah.
Johnson was murdered.
Right.
But he paraded around with these white women, so the feds came up with the Mann Act, which was also called the White
Slavery.
Sex Trafficking
Yeah,
Act.
yeah.
If you take a woman across state lines, right, to have sex, that could be considered interstate prostitution. Now, let me tell you how they changing the game with Puff. This is important for every black man in America, you, me, because we know women across state lines, do we not?
Yes.
Pay attention to this Puff trial. Because what I think they're trying to do with the Mann Act now is I think they are trying to create a new precedent in law.
Yes. With
Where
Diddy.
with Diddy.
Yes.
But it's going to affect us all.
Yes.
Where if a woman flies in to see you, Loon, this just lady friend.
Yeah, it's
You
regular.
ain't paying for no
Yeah.
sex. This is we getting to know each other. This is regular romance. If she crossed state lines, you can be charged with the Mann Act. Do you know how many black men would go to jail? Because they're not going to use it on white men.
Right.
They're not going to use it on yellow men.
And it's about when
the
they
law
use
has
it.
always been selectively applied.
Exactly.
Imagine how many black men
Exactly.
could be brought up on charges if a woman ever flew in from another state to spend time
That's
with you.
every day. That's
every day.
everybody.
But they trying to set it up.
That's what I'm saying. And
They
they
try-
have to set precedent with Diddy. So if they can blur the lines,
And guess what else they got to set? To your point with the precedent, we need black people to co-sign it.
right.
Listen to all the black women who's saying he need to suffer.
Right.
Black men who's saying he need to suffer.
Yeah.
If you let them convict Puff on the Mann Act with no evidence of forced sex trafficking or activity, where you basically say convict him just because somebody crossed state lines to have a freak off, all of us can end up with federal charges.
What do you say to Cassie's testimony? What's your thoughts on how Cassie has handled herself, some of the allegations she's made? Does she come off as truthful to you, or how do you feel about
I didn't watch but I read the reports.
You can't watch. All you can do is read.
Right. I believe she was as much a freak as Puff was.
If not more.
If not more.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to claim that she was purely a victim is in denial. It's Loon, there's no way. I don't care how much grooming. You're not a child. You're a grown woman and you mixed race on top of that. So you got a white parent. You feel? There's no way you're doing all of this if you don't want to.
Do you think that
No way.
from a psychologist standpoint,
Not for a woman with a white parent.
what about the Stockholm syndrome thing that people are trying to
That's very
parade
real.
around?
I believe that all of that bears some truth in this case, but cannot be completely explained by it. Here's the problem I had with the Cassie supporters, right? And I empathize with the sister as well because Puffy did take advantage of her.
Yeah.
The problem I'm having, Loon, is I'm seeing people go out of their way and make excuses for her because she's not an all-black woman. If Cassie wasn't light-skinned and mixed race, do you really think she would be getting this type of sympathy from the black community or the America at all? No.
Right.
It's because she was mixed race that people are coming to her aid. If this was Lizzo in this case, you feel me? She wouldn't get half the sympathy. She would be called a gold digger, and if you didn't want to be there, you could have left. You feel me? Yes.
I didn't think about
Black
that.
women don't give black women that type of support. This is only happening because Cassie is mixed race. Yes.
And but there's a lot of people who are, so from a psychologist standpoint, can you explain even what Stockholm syndrome means to people?
Stockholm syndrome is when someone grooms you, dominates, destroys you to the point where they eliminate any imagination or memory of you being independent or wanting independence. You start to depend on them. You start to rely on them. They become your world. And you start to believe that you cannot exist without them, despite the fact that they are punishing you, manipulating you, and putting your life in danger. Our enslavement in America, post-traumatic slavery disease, is a form of Stockholm syndrome.
Okay.
It's the most pronounced form,
Right.
but it's a form of Stockholm syndrome.
Okay. So
It's basically brainwash.
Right.
Cut you off from the world, what any domestically abusive man does.
Right.
I'm going to cut her off from her family. I'm going to cut her off from her friends. I'm going to cut her off from her church, her social network, right?
Right.
And I'm going to remake her world because the brain is what? The victim of repetition. I don't care how intelligent you are. The brain is not conditioned on intelligence alone.
Right.
This is why you say, why some of our greatest black scholars had white wives. I'm talking about African-centered scholars. Sheikh Anta Diop, the black man who proved that the mummies in Egypt was black, had a white wife. You know why? Because intellectual knowledge is one thing. Deep-seated unconscious conditioning is something else. Stockholm syndrome is deep-seated unconscious conditioning. What did Adolf Hitler say? Adolf Hitler said, and I'm no fan of Hitler because he not only killed Jews, he killed Africans too. And I got an issue with the European Jews who never highlight the Africans who were murdered with them in the concentration camps and don't even highlight the Africans who delivered them from the concentration camps. It was black soldiers in World War II, Loon,
they
who
couldn't
liberated.
fight. We had to
Yes!
fight for them. Yeah.
Yes!
Strong.
Yes!
Yeah.
And you don't see them honored in no Holocaust museum. And they never talk about the fact that they participated in our slavery. Who insured the slave ships? Who built the ships? Who put the insurance?
That's what.
It was them, European Jews. And nobody ever talks about that. So you want the world to hurt for you. No problem. But what about the hurt you caused us? But getting back to this point, brainwash. Adolf Hitler said, if you want to control people, it's not difficult. He said, come up with a lie. Make the lie big, Loon. The lie got to be supreme. And just keep telling it over and over again. The human mind cannot resist
Ignore, yeah.
what it is constantly told to believe, even if it's not true. And who was Adolf Hitler's propaganda minister? Joseph Goebbels, a psychologist.
Do you see Stockholm syndrome in Cassie's explanation of events?
I see some of it, but I do think she's exploiting a lot of it.
So that's what I don't understand.
Here's the thing. Cassie willingly subjected herself to Sean Combs because she wanted access to the fame.
Exactly.
There is no getting around it. Was there manipulation? Yes. I'll even give you a 50-50 split if you want, Loon. But anybody who tries to tell me, Dr. Umar, Cassie's experience with Sean Puffy Combs was 100% outside of her realm of control and exclusively due to his manipulation and brainwash. Hell no, you get no vote from me.
Yeah, because
you get no vote from me.
I always say to myself, because even now, like I said, I'm in the dating market and you meet women, you say, all right, I got to be careful. Like you say.
Oh, you better be careful now.
Yeah, it's very careful.
It is open season on black men. Notice you don't see the same thing with white men. You get you a Harvey Weinstein every once in a while, but you don't see nothing like this,
right?
Because it's not allowed.
And you're not even if you see a Harvey Weinstein, you won't even see the paranoia following that we have seeing Diddy going through that.
He appealing his case right now. He appealing his case right now. He might go home,
right?
But right now, if you're a black man, because I'm looking at this, and I'm
right,
and I'm like, you know what? You almost got to have an NDA anytime you go on a date. You follow what I'm saying?
It's so bad, man.
You cannot get into any kind of an argument because she can very easily lie and either say she felt threatened or she can just say you put hands on her. Look what Lil Wayne's situation. Right. And of course, he was bunny hopping, right? Had no business doing that behavior. But she said he put her out. And then she also accused him of putting hands on her.
And asked for a lawyer.
Right. Listen, no evidence. For black men, you don't need evidence. All you have to do is make the accusation. So you got to be careful now because it is popular now to destroy black men on false allegations of sex abuse. However, I still don't see black women getting away with it the way white women are. You follow what I'm saying? They have a privilege our sisters do not have. Lil Wayne, he was bunny hopping. He might got to pay up. All these black men dating outside the race, they got to start rethinking it now, Loon.
Right. And here's another thing, right? So it's like you sit back and you say, because women know we're attractive, successful men, we're doing, and so they have
women are drawn to power.
Right.
Any woman, and that's natural.
And so
but you have to make sure she don't want you just for the power.
Right. But when they come in, because listening to Diddy, I can only imagine Diddy sitting there like, and Cassie's on stand, and it's like, this is the girl who was telling me to come freak on her. She was telling me to come pee in her mouth.
And then flipped it.
So it's like, at what point, and then she's up there saying, I lost all autonomy. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just moving on his behalf. But at one point, is it coercion and then, or versus you lied about what you're into?
Yes.
Like that has to be
considered. It's a fine line.
Yeah,
it's a very fine line. But
you misrepresent what you're into to get next to me and then say I coerced you.
True that. But here's the overall message. Loon. As black men, we need to, in order to survive America, you're going to have to be sexually disciplined. You follow what I'm saying? There is no more one night stands.
Right.
Not if you got something to lose.
I done turned all that off.
You follow what I'm saying?
Freakish.
You can't.
It's over.
There is no one night stands. There is no wham bam thank you ma'ams.
Right.
Anytime you allow a woman into your personal space, you have just empowered her to disgrace your name
and destroy
true or false. You understand? You see that? That's where we are. But I'm going to look at it from a positive thing. Not that this is good, but what it says to me is you were not sent here by the Most High to exploit the vaginas of women. The black woman's vagina is a sacred space. That is the canal from which God sends new life. You are to protect it. You are to honor it. You are to reverence it, and you must respect it. The message in this Sean Combs thing, the message in all of this, Shannon Sharpe, get your sex life in alignment with your spiritual life. And get your spiritual life in alignment with the Almighty. Yes, you're being brought down illegally, falsely, and unjustifiably. That's part true. But now let's look at divine justice. Shannon Sharpe is innocent of criminal justice. I believe Puffy Combs is innocent of criminal justice. I think they're both guilty of divine justice. You are not supposed to be sexually exploiting women for your personal pleasure.
That's a fact.
Get your life in order.
That's a fact.
That's what it's telling me.
That's a fact.
You cannot use the black woman
That's a
as
fact.
a plaything.
That's a
Not
fact.
only that, you're not supposed to use any woman as a plaything.
That's a fact.
This is a message from our ancestors saying we're not happy with the way y'all been treating our daughters. Do them right or leave them the hell alone.
That is a powerful, profound point.
Yes,
Because
sir.
That to me makes so much sense.
Yes, sir.
Like you say, man, like you say, the universe is still speaking.
The universe is still
Yeah,
speaking.
It's like, yo, man, you've been
The universe, and in African culture, we have a saying: I embrace the positive and negative aspects of everything I experience in life because the good and the bad collaborate
Yes.
in helping me achieve my destiny.
Yes.
So in African culture, we believe you go through good and through bad.
Right.
You can't have one without the other because it's the only way we birth your destiny. So even though they're criminally innocent, both men are spiritually guilty.
And then you got to pay for that.
You got to pay for it.
Now,
Karma ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, man. With Diddy's trial, so in your opinion, they are not proving the allegations of the charges presented.
Not yet. Now, some people are saying that the prosecution is slow walking this thing. Some people are saying that the prosecution is starting out with Cassie and the freak-offs to disparage his character first. Establish that he's a creep. And then we're going to hit him with the evidence of RICO and interstate
So what about
prostitution and sex trafficking.
What about RICO? This is what I'm saying. It's all blurry, man, because
It's all I don't think they have
using his
much.
assistant. He's using his bodyguards. This is what rich men do.
That's what rich men do.
I move around with my
That's what-
bodyguard. Before
but I'ma
I
tell
go,
you,
they
but
do
I'm
set the
but I'm
room
gonna
up.
tell you something. I don't think Puff used his organization as much as they would have liked him to.
Right.
Do you follow what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
From what I'm seeing,
Yes.
it was him
Yes.
and his freak off mates.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
He wasn't using the secretary and you follow
Yes.
what I'm saying? It was a select team,
Yeah.
which I think is going to save him. He didn't use the whole bad boy to do this because a lot of this happened off bad boy time. Let's go back. The reason why they're having such a hard time proving his case is he got locked up on frivolous reasons in the first place. Puffy is going through this because he sued Diageo. Puffy sued
I remember
Diageo
you
Liquor.
said that on
He started
last
his
time.
own party, and they needed to make sure that he couldn't influence the 2024 election, and so he had to be in jail. Puffy had to be taken off the streets during election season because he started that black party, and neither Democrats or Republicans knew where he stood, and they couldn't afford to let him influence the outcome. And they had to pay him back for suing Diageo. So he wasn't locked up for this anyway. These charges were fabricated to make the case stick.
What about Kid Cudi testifying?
What did he say?
He said he had testified to Diddy blowing his car up. He said he came home one day and his dog was in the bathroom. Some kind of way Diddy got in his house, locked his dog in the bathroom. According to Kid Cudi, fed him some kind of additive that killed his dog later. Not then, but he
I
said
got you.
after that,
Gradually.
gradually killed his dog and moved the cameras around. And there was this big back and forth with him and Cassie. But my thing is, on one end, they paint Diddy, and of course, we don't defend Diddy. We're dealing with the information.
Yes.
One end, they say Diddy's this violent guy who's willing to kill about Cassie and kill everything about, harboring whatever is going on. And then on the other end, she runs off with Kid Cudi, and the car blows up, allegedly, according to them, and he does that. So what they're basically saying is, Kid Cudi said he asked Diddy about his car. He said he wanted to wait till he got in his face, and he said Diddy was standing there like a Blade or something, a black supervillain. He said this in court. Said when he got up on him and he shook his hand, he said, "Man, what about my car?" And Diddy said, "I don't know what you're talking about, Playboy." And that was the end of the interaction. But basically, Kid Cudi and Diddy had a checkered past due to his involvement with Cassie. But Kid Cudi, in his words, was scared of Diddy. Diddy had him terrified and would hurt people. So a lot of people in
Which
our
is
culture,
understandable But how do you prove it was Diddy?
It was
who poisoned
hearsay.
your dog?
I didn't even understand how it was allowed on the stand when it was all hearsay.
Because they don't have nothing. They don't have nothing.
They let him get up there and basically say, I was told that Diddy blew the card.
Yeah.
No one was charged. No one knew.
No evidence.
And it's on a
no
federal trial.
No police investigation.
And on a federal trial.
I don't think they have nothing, brother. I don't think they have nothing. I believe that this was punishment. And what do? Is they like to exhaust your wealth. They know how much you make because we ain't got no black banks, right?
Right.
They exhaust your wealth, or not many black banks. They exhaust your wealth enough to break you.
Do you think that they're coming for his fortune?
Of course.
And that's why they want to tie in the bad boy shit and the like you dealing with.
I wonder how much his lawyers are making per hour.
They knocking dust from him.
Do you feel me?
Yeah, they knocking
and
dust.
And what percentage of his estate is being drained by this case? You see them? Don't get me wrong. You know what I think they want to do? They want to liquidate his assets to the point where they have to force him to sell his masters and his publishing. Same thing they try to do with Michael Jackson.
Do you think they're going to try to come get it? Because if they allege that you use bad boy records,
saying that your masters and your publishing
come with us with
was
this
earned as part of your RICO, which means they automatically fall under government control.
Yeah, you forfeit.
And we can sell them at auction to any.
This is what I think they're trying to do because it feels like y'all tying in the organization.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? When he was doing a freak off,
would force him
forfeit
to give up all
of
his masters and his
bad boy, all of that shit. His whole
the liquor company,
everything. And so even if we get 2 years out of him, 3 years, we still get to get all of that with the conviction.
It don't matter how much time.
That's what I'm saying.
We could give him a day because if we able to take his assets,
we win.
We win.
Yeah.
He can go home now.
That's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Time already served.
That's what I'm saying.
But even with that, Loon, that's dangerous for other black men.
Yes.
Do you feel me?
Yes.
All we have to do, and this is why black people need to stop trying to throw Puffy under the bus. This is not about Puffy. It's about us. What do we know about the slave plantation? When they whipped the slave in front of the others, it was never about the slave. It's about the rest of y'all. If you let them convict Puff on RICO with the scantiest of evidence and allow them to take this man whole estate, publishing and masters, they can do that to anybody they feel
I'm almost certain they're coming for that. I'm almost certain.
It makes sense because look at why they killed Michael Jackson. Because he wouldn't give up the publishing, the masters, the Beatles and Elvis. He didn't want to give up his cut.
And he was trying to buy more.
Yes,
he was aggressively pursuing.
And they hit him with the child molestation when he tried to buy Marvel Comics. Imagine if Michael Jackson would have executive produced Black Panther.
Oh, man. Next level.
Mike was a gangster. One thing about Mike and Prince, man, is so interesting because they were somewhat effeminate in their public presentation. They were gangsters in the business room, bro.
Yeah.
There's no rapper more gangster than Michael Jackson when it came to business.
Period.
There's no rapper more gangster than Prince when it come to business, bro. They was gangster.
I remember, and it was back when we have technology to even enforce any move.
No internet or nothing.
So you had to go through them.
Remember when Eminem disrespected Michael Jackson over the allegations of sex abuse?
Yes.
I believe that's what it was.
I remember that.
Mike went and bought his publishing. Michael Jackson went and bought Eminem's publishing. Bro.
That's deep. That's deep.
But here's the problem, though. Mike and Prince should have been collaborators instead of competitors. Do you feel me?
Right.
Had they worked together, Loon, they might still be here. You can't beat white supremacy alone.
Right.
Prince was fighting solo. Mike was fighting solo. Whitney Houston fighting solo. You see that?
Yes.
You got to have a team.
Yeah.
It takes armies to defeat armies.
Yes. That's damn good, though. Wow.
Let me tell you something Puff should have done. If I'm a multi-billionaire mogul, especially if I know I'm doing some evil shit, Bad Boy is what? 20 years old, going on? You know the first thing Puff should have done? He should have found the 10 smartest kids in Harlem and paid for all of them to go to law school with a contract that when you graduate, you work for Bad Boy.
Yeah. See, we got to start
being
strategic.
We don't think right with the money.
Bullshit,
and the reason why does The problem with us, Loon, black men in particular, black women too, but especially us, our egos have been so destroyed and castrated. We have the most bruised ego in America.
Yes.
And because of that, we're constantly seeking validation.
Yes.
Why do we date white women? Validation. Why do we go to the PWI over the HBCU? Validation. Why do we move into the white suburb instead of staying in the ghetto where you ain't have to pay half the property tax? Validation. Why do we have to wear the most expensive clothes that they make? Validation. Why do black people own more Mercedes than whites? We own more Mercedes than whites. Make less and you ain't got a third of the wealth. Validation. So until the black man conquers his need for external validation, our egos will always be used against us.
I fight against mine because it's there.
You have to.
Yeah, I have to fight it. Like, like I was just telling him, I have to be an example now because I'm moving out past towards the watermark.
And you have to start thinking about legacy.
Yes. And so for me, it's like a lot of the friends that I have and a lot of the people that I know in our culture, they kind of get stuck at an age. And it's like a 20-something-year-old age in their dressing, in their approach to life, in just everything. And I want to start to wear suits and I want to go casual and start to like be intentional with my presentation.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? And I want that to be loud and want young people to know like
more mature.
Yeah, let's go more mature with this thing, man. So because sometimes I'm in these settings and I ain't handled like the CEO that I truly am, and I'm trying to figure out.
Because your presentation can cause hesitation. The wrong presentation can cause hesitation.
Sometimes I'll be in a room, I'm like, yo, you do know I'm CEO of a company signed with iHeart, one of the biggest companies, one of the biggest platforms in the world. Like, you do understand that, right?
The wrong presentation can cause hesitation.
Because of the presentation.
Yes.
And that's on me for the most part, because I do want to.
Because remember, this society values image over integrity.
Right.
You understand me?
Yes.
You could have the most integrity in the room, but I'm the one who looks like I do.
Right.
You see that?
Yes.
We are a sensory-driven society.
Yes.
What's inside you, we don't even care.
Right.
It's all about how you present it.
Yes. I want to ask you about this too. Digital segregation by crowdfunding.
Okay.
I was doing some research because there was a conversation happening online. To me, it was very alarming. It was in reference to Rodney Hinton Jr., which is the grieving black father whose son Ryan was shot dead.
They shut down his crowdfunding, did they not?
Yes, they did. Rodney saw that body cam footage and snapped, tragically running over Deputy Larry Henderson. The immediate public response was outrage. Every crowdfunding page trying to raise Rodney's defense money got immediately shut down. He barely reset before the platform removed everything under pressure from law enforcement. But watch this. Luigi Maloney, which is...
I remember.
That's a white former employee
that
of
was
United
accused
Healthcare.
of assassinating the U.S. healthcare CEO.
Gunned down the company CEO in broad daylight, and all of his GoFundMe type campaigns soared to over $1 million. He even has merchandise with his face on it and is selling online. And if that's not enough, the white woman also was on camera, screaming at the 7-year-old black boy on the playground. Right. She made $1 million in GoFundMe. I want to speak to the digital segregation that happens in crowdfunding. And where did it start? Because I also hear this term floating around of black fatigue. I don't know if you've heard that lately, where white people are starting to say we're tired of hearing black people complain and kind of outline and point out some of the things that they've been through.
Clarifying, okay, the black fatigue. Is white people being fatigued about black complaints, or is it black people being fatigued from dealing with racism? I don't know. I'm asking.
My understanding is white people are using the term black fatigue as to say we're tired of
so is white people suffering black fatigue?
Yes, we're tired.
I didn't know that. I thought it was the other way.
No, we're tired of you complaining about we ain't getting
right.
And so I want to kind of speak to all of that. And we could take it however you want, step by step.
Okay. I'm going to go with the fatigue on both definitions. You feel me?
Yes.
First of all, 3 primary rules of racism. All white people are racist, and they do not share power with black people. They do not share what? Power. Crowdfunding is a form of what? Economic empowerment. How dare you, Negroes? Whether Carmelo Anthony was right or wrong, don't matter to them. Whether Rodney Hinton was right or wrong, don't matter to them. Why do you think you can come to white people and use our platform to empower yourself? The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, Loon, we was a GoFundMe platform. They shut us down.
Oh, they sure did.
Without a reason. Why?
Sure did.
Because I am not going to help you build some independent black school that you're going to use to liberate and emancipate black minds so they can compete with us for power over this society. Are you crazy? The question, Loon, isn't whether or not there is crowdfunding discrimination. Of course it is. But you know what the bigger question is? After 400 years, after 406 years, why are you still expecting white people to help you empower yourself against them? Equality is a sin. Equality is a sin. Equality eliminates white privilege. America is built on white privilege, so I'm not surprised at all. And I want to say this. For the people who felt like Rodney Hinton was wrong in running over the quote-unquote innocent officer. Some people, Negroes included, are saying this would have only been justice if Rodney Hinton would have unalived the officer,
the exact person
who unalived his son. I completely disagree.
Me too.
You know why? Rodney Hinton was not at war with a single officer. Rodney Hinton was at war with a corrupt police system. His son was not alived by a single officer. It might have been a single officer that fired the kill shot. His son was unalived by a corrupt police department with a history of murdering black people without accountability. So we are fighting institutions and systems, not individuals.
Right. And also, what I find interesting is America gets this amnesia that if you strike one eyes, I've heard America come out and say somebody else gonna raise your children for doing what you done. So they are
look at what they did as a result of the fabricated accusations of 9/11.
That's what I'm saying.
They went, when America bombs, America never targets the military. They target civilians.
Ain't that crazy?
Do you know how much blood is on the hands of America for murdering innocent women and children in other countries? And you got the audacity to say that he should have found the exact officer? I'm not happy about the loss of life. And if the man was a half decent person, condolences to the family.
Right.
But we not fighting individuals.
Exactly.
We are fighting systems. And here's the thing. It don't matter what cop would have chased his son. He was going to get shot because that's their policy in dealing with black men. So he was not wrong in what he did.
Right.
And I'll tell you this. With Rodney Hinton, with Carmelo Anthony, they have shifted the conversation. Their courage has shifted the conversation. What do I mean? A black father takes it upon himself to unalive an officer after having his son unalived. We not used to that.
Right.
A young black boy takes it upon himself to defend his life from two racist twins who were trying to brutalize him. We not used to that. And the reason we not used to that, Loon, is for 406 years. White America has always had absolute jurisdiction over the black body. You see this sometimes When you out and about living your life, sometimes you have to tell white people, I need you to back up.
Back up.
I need you to get off my porch.
Yeah.
I need you to take your hands off my child. White people don't have boundaries with us because for the first 246 years of this 406, they owned us. So we have to reestablish safe space with them. Rodney Hinton did that. Carmelo Anthony did that. And guess what? Just like with Emmett Till, just like with Malcolm, just like with any of our martyrs, not to put them on that level, but yet and still, it's the same type of a situation. Now when white kids go to bully a black child, you better think twice. Yeah. Now when a police officer in Cincinnati goes to unalive a black kid, you sure he ain't got no father?
Right.
Because Rodney Hinton just put a new idea into the universe on how to deal with police brutality. And as much as people want to denigrate it, all behavior, I'm a psychologist, we're trained this, Loon. All behavior is a function of its consequences. Everything. How do you train your dog? Consequences.
Yes.
How do you train your employees? Consequences. Rodney Hinton just showed you. You want the police to stop killing your children? Until they feel pain, you will never stop feeling pain.
And you've always said that at some point blood may have to be shed.
Let me ask you a question. What have we ever gotten in American society that we did not bleed for?
Right.
We bled for freedom. We bled for the Civil Rights Act. We bled for the Civil Rights Bill. We bled in Black Power.
Everything else is an illusion.
Everything else is an illusion.
It comes with blood on it.
So they say no. They say no. Congress passed the 13th Amendment. Yeah. That was celebratory and symbolic.
Yeah.
We had already bled.
Right.
That's just them trying to reassert their control over the narrative. Abraham Lincoln didn't free us. We freed him. Read. The white generals in the Civil War said if it wasn't for the Negro, America be two countries today, a union and confederacy. And if we could redo history, Loon, one of the things I wish we would have redone, when Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia, I think that was April 4th, 1865, right? I wish black men would have said, you know what? If we can beat the Confederacy for Abraham Lincoln, maybe, just maybe, we can beat Abraham Lincoln too. Loon, what if we would have said, you know what? We not done.
Yeah.
We took the South.
Going a little further.
Let's take the North. Imagine if we would have done it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have won or not, but history was on our side.
Yeah.
If we can shut down the southern states, why couldn't we shut down the South?
Right.
Sometimes, brother, we don't believe in ourselves enough. You feel me? Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves enough.
But it's crazy because they'll on one end say how dysfunctional we are and how disillusioned we are, and then they won't point to the facts that, but we had to go in there and fight that fight that y'all didn't have the ability to fight. We had to get in there and wrestle it down.
We the reason America. Not just with the Civil War, brother. Let's go before the Civil War. Let's go to the Louisiana Purchase. Do you know that this country is 3 times the size it was? Because the Haitian Revolution went to Saint-Louis Overture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Christophe and Pétion and Cecil Fatiman and Boukman and Macandal, when they destroyed Napoleon's army, a slave army, defeated the greatest general the white man ever had.
Right,
An army of slaves defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. And because the Haitian Revolution bankrupted Napoleon, he sold his American territories to America for pennies on the dollar.
I remember that.
The Louisiana Purchase loan quadrupled the size of the United States of America. So when I tell you America wouldn't be America without black people, America wouldn't be America without black people.
That's a fact. Now back to the crowdfunding thing. Who started, in your opinion, where did this start as it pertains to as it pertains to what could be considered as a heinous act takes place? Then the racist or the people on one side or another throws their financial might behind something to try to take a stand.
I think it was Michael Brown and Ferguson.
Or Zimmerman.
Was there crowdfunding for Zimmerman?
I believe, yeah.
It might have been Zimmerman.
I think that's where it started. I'm almost certain it was, but Mike Brown.
It could have been Zimmerman.
Was that wave
Mike
right
Brown popularized it because with the Mike Brown case, you had an officer who unalived an unarmed child, and they left his body in the street for hours.
Yeah.
And the evidence in the Michael Brown case, because there were witnesses. Remember with Trayvon, I don't think we had any witness.
No.
Michael Brown, you had witness. So it was obvious that this was an execution.
Yes.
And so when black people saw white people rush to the defense of the white officer with obvious evidence and eyewitness testimony that he unalived that young man unnecessarily, that's when crowdfunding really became what it became. And I think crowdfunding helped black people to see how racist white people
it's
are.
like the American racial identity crept right into crowdfunding.
And do you know why? It's the same thing with social media or Twitter.
Or voting and all of it. It's
Right,
really
because-
everywhere, but it's just overt in the money.
Because why? I'm able to be racist, but you don't necessarily see who I am.
Yeah.
Do you feel me?
Yes.
When I go into the booth to vote against reparations, I can be racist, but you don't know how I voted. When I donate $1,000 to these police killers, I can be racist, but you never see my face. Whenever white people are able to manifest, when white people are able to manifest their racism and not be seen, you really see who they are.
Yeah, because it's clearly...
Look at Shiloh Hendricks. She caught a 5-year-old disabled child the N-word for going in a bag. White kids go in bags too. You feel me? It was an innocent kid. He don't know nothing about no thief. He had autism. And guess what? White folks said what? We don't care. And if it's one thing black people need to understand, Loon, and I think it's one of the benefits of the Trump administration, although I don't support him or his administration.
Right.
Donald Trump is making it popular to be publicly racist again. You feel me?
It feel like
He making it popular. He said we gonna take Harriet Tubman off the website.
Man, they doing some shit, man.
Bro.
They doing some shit.
We gonna take Medgar Evers off the National Military Cemetery website. We gonna go into the Smithsonian National African American Museum, and anything in there that shows how brutally racist America was to blacks, we taking it out. All the Civil War statues that y'all took down back in the 2015 Charleston killing of Dylann Roof when he murdered the Charleston Nine.
Yes.
We putting them statues back up. South African refugees, if you don't like the fact that the blacks in South Africa taking the land that your ancestors stole from them, you can come over and be a refugee. Donald Trump has made it safe to be a bigot. Did you see the executive order he signed on the police?
What the
Donald Trump
immunity? Was it the immunity?
It's not the word immunity. It's called unleashing America's law and for unleashing. He's basically saying,
go get active.
You can basically what he's saying. You can kill blacks, and you do not have to worry about being held accountable. But with that being said, though, Loon, as a historian, a part of me is saying we got to embrace this. Now, some black people will say, what the hell Dr. Umar talking about embrace how we being dehumanized and push? You know why you got to embrace it? Because it is these types of conditions. Do you feel me, Loon?
Creates the atmosphere.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What did I say earlier? Everything in the universe is created from positive and negative force. You see that? We fought against slavery because we had no choice. We fought for civil rights. We had no choice. The racism became so intense that we got to a point, Loon, where we said, you know what? We might die anyway. So we might as well stand up and fight. That's what's happening right now. America is eliminating all the conveniences it has given to black people in this society. And we're now getting to a point, Loon, where it's like, what am I living for? And when people get desperate, they become courageous. This is exactly the type of atmosphere you need. It is this that gave birth to a Marcus Garvey. It is this that gave birth to a Frederick Douglass. It is this that gave birth to a Huey Newton. It is this that gave birth to a H. Rap Brown. It is this that gave birth to the Freedom Riders and the sit-in movements. You understand me?
Yes.
So this is exactly what you need for black people
Yes.
to get up off their ass and struggle. What did Frederick Douglass say? If there is no struggle, there is no progress.
Do you think, what's your feelings on him rolling back the DEI stuff?
It didn't benefit us at all.
DEI never benefited black people.
4% of DEI hires were black. 4%. So
Who
my
else
question
was
to
getting
you,
that?
homosexuals, white women, non-black immigrants. Do you feel me?
Yes.
Physically handicapped, non-blacks.
Right.
Remember, minority is everything except white male.
Wow.
Do you
it's
see that?
all inclusive.
Let me give you an example. Much respect to Pastor Jamal Bryant. Much respect to Reverend Al Sharpton. As you know, they had a boycott of Target.
Yes.
Nothing was wrong with that because Target needed to know you don't mistreat black people, still get our money.
Right.
And as a result of that boycott, Target has lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They on life
I
preserver.
had the stat. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the reactionary intervention by Pastor Bryant and Reverend Sharpton, I support it. Target need to be taught a lesson. My constructive criticism, because I respect them, my constructive criticism for both gentlemen, you gave us the reactionary. That's the boycott. But now you got to do something pro-actionary that benefits black people.
Yes.
Where is that?
Right.
Taking our people from Target to Costco is not a win because you're taking them from Target who exploited their black dollar and you now giving them to another corporation that's going to exploit their black dollar.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
What they should have done. And this is why black leadership gets criticized. What they should have done with their influence is they should have created a mega mart for the black community. Al Sharpton has the following. Pastor Jamal Bryant has the following.
Right.
Why not come together and give our people a black alternative?
Right.
Why are we leaving our people choosing between two white alternatives, neither of which really gives a damn? So we broke Target. No problem. I stand with you. But now we're going to go and enrich Costco. What are they doing so great that they deserve the black dollar? Not much at all.
Right.
Where is the black alternative? And this is why, Loon, people criticize black leadership because we're always good on the boycotting. We're always good on the protesting. We're always good on the embargoes. But when it comes time to take that energy and turn it into something constructive and progressive for black people, you never see any solutions. I give you another one. After every police unaliving of a defenseless black person, we had a what? Riot.
Yes.
We tore down the institutions that supported police genocide, right?
Yes.
That's good. But after we tore down them institutions, did we come back into our community and build anything for the people? Pastor Bryant and Reverend Sharpton need to build something for the people and not just redirect our dollar from one white corporation to the next. I like what they did, but that was reactionary. Necessary,
right?
But it was reactionary. Where are the proactive solutions? Institutions are half of the solution.
Boy, you cooking today. That's a damn good point because that's exactly what happened. Speaking of him, Trump taking some of these statues down, I've also seen a statue of a black woman. They said
in Times Square. I saw the statue. Some people think it's harmless. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Symbolic artwork is usually focused on representing the best of a people. Are you following me? If we had a museum with multiple pieces of black art that was on display, then that statue won't be a problem. You want to know why? It's one of many pieces.
Right.
But for you to put what I believe is the first ever statue of a black woman in Times Square, why wasn't it of a black female celebrity? Why wasn't it of a black woman caring for her children? Why wasn't it a black woman with her king supporting her?
Right.
Why wasn't it of a black inventor, female? We have many. Right. Why wasn't it of a black doctor, black engineer, black business owner? Why was it of a single black woman? Was her hand on her hips?
I don't even remember.
Single black woman. Look it up real quick. See if the hand, look up that picture. Was the hands on the hips? She was not professionally dressed. She was extremely casual, slightly overweight, braids in her hair, definitely didn't look like somebody on their way to work, definitely didn't look like somebody on their way to operate their own business. Man. Was her hands on the hips?
Yeah.
Do you see what does that mean when a black woman hands is on her hips? Stereotypically, that's the sassy mama look. That's the independent. I'm on welfare. I don't have a husband. I might have multiple kids. Complaining, whining, masculine. That was an insult to black female integrity and dignity. That did not represent the great divine feminine at all. That was an insult, my brother. That was an insult.
Man. That's wild.
You have too many black women doing too many great things. Let me give you an example, Loon, of why I consider that an insult. Black women are the most educated population in America, right? The most educated. Why not at least put a book bag on her back? Black women are the most educated population in America. Keep the same outfit, put a book bag on her back. Do you know what you're saying now, Loon? She's a student.
Yes.
She might only be 20.
Yes.
She might only be 21.
Yes.
She might not have a job, which is cool, but she's on her way. Why not put a book bag to show black women are the most educated group? I want to show a single, quote unquote, independent black woman who can't find a man or a job. That's what I want to show. That was an insult. Art is supposed to represent the greatness of a people.
Goodness.
The greatness of a people. Like I said, Loon, if it was multiple pieces,
right,
it would have been okay. That's one statue, standalone in Times Square, a business district. You put that in the wealthiest business district on the planet Earth. You put a statue of an unemployed black woman, and I'm not supposed to say nothing about it. First of all, do we know who put that up there?
No.
Was that the city? Was that a donation? Was that a local university?
Sculpture's intentionally unassuming depiction.
Because I want to know under what premise.
Right.
Is it temporary? Is it permanent?
Yeah, what is it? That's what I didn't understand.
Yes.
That's the whole thing. It's like, what's
your
this?
purpose?
Yeah, what are y'all doing?
Insult.
Have been displayed in the same city where a contentious moment. It doesn't say who. As the conversation intensified, criticism has emerged from several angles, from those seeking to preserve the county's historical monuments and from people wondering if the piece employed stereotypical imagery, from critics calling the message ham-fisted. But social media has been overrun with commenters, often anonymous, hurling overt racist and sexist terms. The piece, Grounded in the Stars, was produced in 2023 by Thomas J. Price, a London-based sculptor whose work in recent years has directly...
Google his name. Google his name and put London-based sculptor. Thomas Price, London-based sculptor, and see if you can, and hit images and see if you see his face. And the reason I'm asking you to see what race he was, most of the statues in this country, Loon, of great black heroes are made by non-black artists. They do not let our people create and craft our own heroes. I want to know if he was white or black.
It's not showing, but here's some more.
If you hit image, does his face come up?
Nah, they're showing more of the, I guess these are more
of his works.
Yeah.
I wonder what he is. Either way, it was unacceptable.
Is this him?
He's black.
He is black. Okay, he's black.
I think that's him right here.
Let me see him.
I think that's him.
Okay. I'm not going to knock him per se. It looks like he has several works.
Right, yeah,
My
no.
question is, why did they choose that one?
That one, yeah, that's still a thing. Like it's
You see,
still
yeah,
a thing.
it's still a thing.
It don't
It's
care.
still-
Like
yeah.
respect to him and his creativity.
Yeah, that was-
But they
the wealthy-
oftentimes use us and missteps we may have made or misrepresentations that they can now redefine. Right, and use that against us and say, "Well, no, he made it.
Absolutely.
We didn't do it. Y'all
And you
made
know
it."
why? Symbols rule the world, brother. Every memory in your head is a symbol.
Yes.
Your brain don't store information
Any
in
other
sentences.
way. Yeah.
It's symbols.
Yes.
White Jesus, symbol. Look at that symbol. Yeah. What is that telling black girls when they see that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Look at all the black female entrepreneurs we have. You couldn't have put them up there? You know how many... Do you realize how many different representations of black women I can brainstorm right now? And that's what you give me in the wealthiest business district on the planet. That's an insult.
Yeah.